step foot outside, I'm a different type of grounded. 369 sounds odd, but I feel surrounded. Pure vibration, trying to make sense of Tesla's notes.
I ain't perfect, obviously, in a lot of ways. I'm trying to get better. I'm always trying to get better. I've got this growth mindset where I want to improve. I won't be like righteous in my ego in terms of like, I can admit that I've made mistakes in the past. Of course, we all have. We're born as children, like, you know fuck all at the beginning. I'm always trying to get better, and yeah, I won't be defensive with my ego in terms of like, of course I'm going to make mistakes, for fuck's sake. Everyone's going to make mistakes. But it's about tying all the loose ends and leaving a good solid legacy. But the reason I say this is, the main reason I picked up the camera just now is because yeah, I say I'm not perfect because part of it is yeah, so I see how foolish I've been when I was younger, even recently, but with seeing the foolishness in my past self, I prefaced it with saying I'm not perfect because I don't want to just seem like I'm just like judging and slagging everyone off. But like with over time, as you hone in more on self-actualization or like personal development, or taking your life seriously, or like really contemplating your life purpose, contemplating your death, contemplating your legacy, or what you want to do with this life, understanding the finality of death in terms of this incarnation is like, this is really kind of your one opportunity to write your story. Not even all of that mad deepness is necessary. It's just the main point of what I'm saying is that like, and yeah, like, I'm not judging people. Yeah, people can really, in a way, do what they want to an extent, as long as you're not detrimenting the tribe in a way, or negatively inspiring the youth or something of that nature. Kind of like, because people say, oh, you can do whatever you want as long as you're not hurting people, but people can hurt people in more indirect ways. Like being lazy and shit is not, like, you are hurting more people than yourself, because I don't know, it's tricky. But anyway, the main point is literally this, especially like when I'm meeting people who I used to chill with and things, and I'm not hating. Ultimately, again, you can do what you want. I don't want anyone to think I'm hating and judging from afar, because I'm not perfect, and they're ultimately a reflection. When I say I'm not perfect, I mean, like, I think everything is perfect, everyone is perfect, but that's like a completely different thing. I'm talking on the relative plane. I'm not perfect, I've got a lot of improvements to be made, but also everything is now and everything is always perfect. But yeah, like, so basically something that can be useful as well is like, if you criticize or judge other people in the world, use them as a reflection, where like, if you see yourself being criticizing other people's behavior, turn that as a reflection back on yourself and try and ask yourself, how do I have at least fragments of that behavior that I clearly am not a fan of? So like, you can use the world as a very useful tool where, yeah, like, if you criticize or judge people, you can most likely see aspects of that behavior in yourself. So now that I've prefaced it loads unnecessarily, I tend to preface things because I've said things too rapidly in the past. It makes a bad image of me. But anyway, the main point is, what I'm saying is just like, most people, I'll upload a clip in a minute as well, I'm going to go find it from an external source on YouTube, is that most people are just running at 1%. That's it. Most people are just running from dopamine hit to dopamine hit, and like, they're engaged with distraction all day. And like, when you start to evolve, you see how shit everyone else is. But I'm not saying that I'm better, because I'm just saying, like, there's a part of my mind that has started to like critique almost a lot of my own and other people's behaviour. because people can have problems in their life and they might deal with that problem head on, but they're not actually dealing with the root cause of the problem. Like, you can have all sorts of little problems in your life, but if you zoom out, it's actually one financial problem. That's what I mean. It's like, people are like, yeah, innit? It's mad. You can deal with thousands of financial problems all your life, and it only takes to sort out your finances once. And then you're done, and you don't have to worry about that anymore. So but people can get defensive when you tell them that. It's like, everyone's so like small picture and short-sighted. It's like, people like playing video games all the time. It's like, you're obviously gonna regret that. Not saying you have to, but it's like, that's it. I just don't resonate with so much behaviour anymore, where a lot of this is stemming from a projection in terms of myself. Like, I've got to get disciplined. There's things that I need to take action on, like, now. And I've noticed my own poor traits coming up. Like, when you really have a deadline, or like, and it's something you really need to do, like, if you like that, it's like, basically, like, I'm making a music video, some visuals for the conscious rapper community, for a rap video, and because I need to do that, it's put my discipline in check. Well, I've really seen what like a slimy cunt I am, or my mind makes so many excuses, where like, it really puts it into perspective. Now that I have something I need to get done, if I'm spent like, it makes me realise how much time I've been wasting the whole time. Like, until you actually get into a bit of a flow of being productive consistently, then it will put into perspective how much time you and most people waste. Like, I'm getting a lot better, a lot sharper recently. I'm feeling much better, much more grounded in general, which is great. But it was only like 6 months ago, I was playing Minecraft, and I uploaded a Minecraft fucking let's play gameplay video on my YouTube, because I don't know, I just like being myself on YouTube and that. But then 6 months later, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why am I playing Minecraft? I have no money. So it's like, I don't know. That's it. If I can just try and distill it, it's yeah, I just don't understand why most people live the way they do. And that's including myself, or my past self. I'm trying to get better, but it's like, no one's even barely trying. It's because these days, I'm constantly listening to like endless lectures while being productive. Like, I don't sit there and watch the video. I'm cleaning up loads. I've been cleaning up this fucking house for the past like 2 days, full blast, completely turning it inside out, upside and backwards. And I'm doing ice baths. Literally sitting in ice baths for 15 minutes. I'm doing breath work. I'm catching the sun like I am now, on purpose. That's why I'm out here. I'm focusing on my health. And like, when you actually start to like take action in your life, that's it. It's a lot of it. People don't understand, like, your threshold for how much you're willing to waste time goes across the board in a lot of big indirect ways that a lot of people don't realise. It's kind of hard to explain. Like so many people are so up for like these low yielding activities where like, and again, and it depends like how, like, yeah, it depends how much you're trying to squeeze out of your day in terms of being productive. A lot of it might have to do with like building wealth or building a successful business. Like, if you actually start, because I'm listening to a lot of business podcasts these days about the economy and business and money and how to make a successful, meaningful, conscious business, etc. And like, yeah, when you listen to all that and then you go and talk to the people who haven't got on that wavelength, it's like they're so willing to just spend their time left, right and centre, like, on nothing. And I have been, and I'm getting better with it. I'm getting so much better with it. I've been shit with it a lot, not even that long ago. But like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I've definitely been guilty of it. But like, say like, I don't know. this is just one example. I'm probably projecting a bit because I'm just like some drama behind the scenes. But that's what I mean. I ain't got time for drama. Like, I offended someone by accident. And then they sent me like loads of voice notes and like about how, because everyone's so willing to get offended. That's what everyone's problem is like how I can actually offend someone and then fuck up their vibration for multiple hours. Like, that's their problem, because your vibration, you went on your own vibration, and same vice versa. Not saying it's not semi-valid, I get it, but like, no, like, Traumatic has a lyric, I found my inner peace, you're not offending me. But I offended like a good friend by accident. Like, I just said something in a YouTube video that, like, off the cuff comment that I thought was like light-hearted, and I had good intentions in that, like, as we all do kind of most of the time. I don't know, but like, anyway, yeah, I don't know, like, I thought we was good friends, and like, we're on about like business opportunities in the future, and like both being visionary and that. Yeah, and then I offended them by accident, and then they block me, and like it's like, I haven't actually got time for people who want to just fuck around, block me, and then what, are you gonna unblock me in a few months or something, or like I don't know, it's just long, like if you, that's not effective communication. If we're trying to both make it, and I don't know, it's just like, that's it. Most people have got really stupid communication as well, just in general. I'm not talking about this person, but just like, people don't consciously communicate. But yeah, I don't know, people are just like very willing to, like, I was listening to Owen Cook just now. What was he saying? I can't remember. He's like, he says, think about all the relationships you've had, all the girlfriends or boyfriends, whatever, and all of them conversations that are just wasted, like, because you're trying to like get them to see from your perspective, etc. And it's like, what's the point in order? Because they're like, half of them just go in the bin forever. So it's like, and what he was saying, this Owen Cook, is like, he was saying, I'm gonna smash a seminar. He's gonna do a big talk in front of loads of students, and then after that, he's gonna go out clubbing, and he's gonna smash that, and he's gonna have a great night, and then he's gonna do a podcast, then he's gonna go to sleep, or like, not in that order exactly, but he's like, then I'm gonna go on the jet ski, then I might take my kids to the Golden Gate Bridge, and then I might call a client. And it's like, some people are living on such a high level of mastery that honestly, how could it be most of the people around you? Because most people haven't put in like a decade or two into personal development or awakening and things. So like, how can you expect that you are going to be one of them, or the people around you? It's like, especially if your friends are young, like, youth is just stupid, kind of, almost inherently in terms of knowledge. Like, youth comes with ignorance, or ignorance comes with youth. But yeah, it's just there's some people, the levels of mastery that you can achieve in this life, the limits are endless, and when you really start to get a taste of them levels, or ascending to them levels, you realise that everyone around you is running at 1%. Yeah, that's it. I'll put on a clip in a second of this other old boy with a good clip that dovetails with everything that I'm just saying about the endless potential of self-mastery and actualization. But yeah, also in terms of that person blocking me because I offended them by accident, basically it's because I'm making more and more conscious friends through time. One of the most conscious friends I have, probably the most conscious friends I have, is Mr. Nature. And I see how continuous, like, Mr. Nature is literally like an omnipresent mirror of fucking Buddha mind. For the most part, like, on the absolute plane at least. Like, not that he can't, obviously he can still learn on the relative plane, like, about more relative knowledge. But what I'm saying is, yeah, like, basically, this has happened in many different levels in my life. Like, if you meet a group of really good friends, like, I met Key Parks about 2 years ago, And when I met these like developed people, I realised that everyone else in my life was underdeveloped. But it's because I never had the contrast. So as you develop the contrast, you realise. So like, yeah, you meet like if you were born amongst level 1 people, and you were also level 1, and you was with the level 1 crowd. If you then travel to a level 5 crowd, you'll think, oh fuck me, these people are sick. And then you go back to the level 1 crowd and you're like, you never had the contrast to understand that now that you've seen the level 5, you realise that there's deeper potential. And this dovetails with my videos I made about plot twist in life, and how conspiracy theories can kind of lead way into radical plot twist and recontextualization. But yeah, and then now that I've come to befriend and understand Mr. Nature more, like basically Mr. Nature, he's always open. He's always like this. He's continuously loving all the time. Like he's literally loving awareness. Not that he doesn't have boundaries. If I piss him off, if I offend him by accident, he will tell me. But he tells me it mindfully, and he'll never block me or just like call me a cunt. Never. And when I see that in him, and I learn to embody that, and he's like my fucking guru at this point, I'm evolving. And then I look back at my old friends and I don't get them anymore. But they can't see outside of their own paradigm, where like a lot of it is projection. It is a lot. Yeah, a lot of it is trauma. So it's all love ultimately. I have compassion, and I understand why people act out in irrational ways, and myself. It's because of trauma and trigger. Like your triggers are your trauma, kind of. It depends. I don't know. I know Inspector Veg talks about that a lot. But yeah, it's basically like that's it. I'm meeting more and more conscious and awake and developed people, and as you meet more, like for example, there's spiral dynamics. Instead of saying level 1, level 5, level 10, there's like this whole spiral dynamics where like there's tier 1 and tier 2. And tier 1 is like primal survival, and then slowly you work your way up to personal development, life purpose, self-actualization. And then on tier 2 you got like major awakenings, and there's different colours of tiers. There's like at the bottom there's like stage red, then green, then fucking blue, then turquoise or whatever, and it keeps going up. And then like at the top they've got I don't even know, but it's like there's the levels of development are so mad that yeah, when you meet people who are higher up on the hierarchy, even though absolutely there's no hierarchy, I get that, but on the relative plane there's a hierarchy in a way. But like when you meet people on higher up in a hierarchy, it can't, you then, everything needs contrast. So when you get a taste for the higher levels, you can see the lower levels from the perspective of the higher levels. So, and this all dovetails with everything that I've just been saying. Is yeah, like as you start to develop yourself, you start to realise that most of the people you've been giving your time and attention, most of the people around you, depends what family you're born into and shit like that, it's like most people are like actually not even switched on, and it's scary. And like obviously and again I can use them as a reflection. People can live how they want, kind of, but yeah, it's just that's it. This Mr. Nature example is a really good example. It's just I'm meeting such a conscious, like truly like awakened person. I can't lie, he's definitely achieved some form of, and I feel his spaciousness all the time, and I've never even met him in real fucking life. I've spoke to him extensively for a good like over 10 hours on our podcasts, and loads behind the scenes just over messages. And that's it. I meet a really conscious, highly developed, highly awake person, and when I get a taste for his spaciousness, his love, his wisdom, his compassion, and it's always like omnipresently there, like he actually holds a space that allows me to get more spacious myself. And when I meet that person who's clearly very highly developed, and I spend a lot of time with them, and that's what I get an acquired taste for, and I almost become accustomed to that, and you can even take it for granted and start to see that as the new normal. You can start to almost unconsciously develop an expectation that people should be. If you spend loads of time with Buddhists, that's what you're gonna subconsciously expect. And then you go back to Western culture, and yeah, it just puts it into contrast. Where just like, yeah, I might be projecting a bit, and ultimately you don't know the full extent of the story, so it's not really relevant exactly. But yeah, it's just this one friend who I offended this girl by accident, and like, she sent me messages, so I sent her some back, and she didn't even like read them, and she just blocked me. And I'm like, you know what? I ain't got fucking time for that stupid ego game. I'm sorry if I offended you, innit? If you like, again, I don't want to get into the details of it. I'm not going to project my personal life on here, but I'm just saying, it's like, I know people who will never do that. If I fuck up, they'll tell me, but they'll do it in a conscious way, without. Because when I offended this person, she was messaging me like in this low vibe, like, oh, like, I mean, I guess you're just like, you're just a cunt, really. I mean, fucking hell, like, I'm a bit disappointed in you. But what I can hear in that tone of voice is that they're whacked up in the moment. But the thing is, with these super enlightened gurus, is you can't whack them up, even if you try, because they have like reached some point where like they found their inner peace. You're not offending them, and you can't get to them. Nothing can get to them, because they live in faith, they live in love, they live in God. So that person messaging me like, oh, I saw what you said on your story, you really, like, I'm a bit disappointed, I guess you're just a cunt, really. It's like, when you awaken, you see the direct projection, and it is painful because you can't see it when you're doing it to yourself. Like, the ego can't see itself, and I've been guilty of it in the past. I will be guilty in the future, of course. But so much of it honestly stems from this illusion of ego and this illusion of separateness, where like, I won't name who, but this person actually thinks in my lot, and I've been contemplating this a lot, but like, they think that they are them, set their body so much that they think that like, yeah, that they're going to be judged depending on how hard they can put up a fight against the world. The world's coming at me. How long can I stand against it? How long can I prove how strong I am? But you're choosing to do that. You can just let go and just dissolve into the flow. I'm going off topic a bit, but yeah, it's just, yeah, that's it. When people are blocking me and shit and like getting salty with me, it's not conscious, and that's it. A lot of these conscious people are actually the problem that they're fighting against. For myself, I think Leo Gura speaks on this. It's like everyone points as if the devil is outside, but instead of pointing at the world, it's like you're actually doing it yourself to an extent where like, so I can point out how shit everyone's diet is, and then I'll go and eat some shit. Or like this girl who blocked me, basically she's rapping about health. So am I. I've got tune, and this is the thing, but at least I can admit it. I'm not going to get defensive because I can see my ego. So this girl who blocked me, she's rapping about health. Don't eat that garbage, leave that junk on the shelf. But she's smoking tobacco from Babylon. Like, the lowest quality tobacco from fucking the counter in Tesco type shit. Not like some next tobacco from the Amazon, like just shit tobacco. So that's what I'm saying, it's like, same with me, it's just like, basically, be careful, because people are pointing at the world, think the world's the problem, but you're the same person who's creating it. Like, I'm watching these so-called conscious people who are criticising the world and other people's behaviours. Those people who are criticising other behaviours, I'm actually watching them do the same thing that they're criticising. But that's what I'm trying to speak about here, is that when I say I'm guilty of it as well, as I've just spent some time criticising other people, is that if I do that myself, then there you go. It's just like a hypocrisy, ego, projection, fucking fear hodgepodge of bullshit. And what you got to do is you got to walk away from all of that, and you just got to win like fuck. When it comes to success, some things I was hearing on this Owen Cook lecture earlier was like, some of the first things they'll tell you if you're looking to actually become successful is, rule number one, you're not a victim anymore. That's it. And like, that's a lot of what people are busy being victims to, they are actually doing themselves. So, see, just take that as a standalone. Like, if you're ever a victim, see how you're actually perpetuating that via your own thoughts, maybe on a metaphysical level, but also just by like Ram Dass was driving behind, like, there was a van covered in loads of hippie stickers like peace, love and unity, God is love, like with like a cool van with loads of hippie good vibes on it. And then they throw Mackey's litter out of the window onto the road. If you're interested in what I was just speaking about higher levels of human development, I super recommend you check out this video that I just screen recorded and re-uploaded from a different YouTube channel. He speaks on the pinnacle of development and consciousness, what levels are possible potentially for you. And it dovetails with everything I was just saying. It's it's a very good video. I just re-uploaded it on my YouTube channel, so go check out my YouTube on check me out on YouTube, oxsn, just search that on YouTube and you'll find it. It's the latest video. It's called Superhuman Levels of Development. Very important, must watch, life changing. I will link it here as well. But yeah, it's take the time, it's only like 15 minutes. When you heed the warning, it speeds up as well, it gets cooler over time.
To understand what reality is in a different way. To have new capacities that ordinary humans do not have. And while that might seem outlandish, consider this, the only reason it seems outlandish and fantastical to you is because all you know is the people around you. And the people around you are extremely mediocre, and they've never seriously developed themselves. That's the only reason it seems outlandish. Then again, if we go back into the history books and into the scriptures of every tradition all around the world, in every culture, we hear stories and myths of superhuman people. Now, scientists, of course, look at that, and atheists and skeptics look at that, and rationalists look at that, and they say, oh, well, that's just...
That is the New World Order.
This might just done. Just want to try.
I step
What is really important for you to understand is that there are stages of human development that we could call superhuman. These are stages of development and ways of being in the world that are so radically advanced and profound and different from whatever stage you're at right now when you're beginning this journey, that you can't even imagine it, you can't conceive of it, and it would be so shocking and radical if you were dropped into it that you would have a hard time believing that such a thing is even possible or real. And that's one of the challenges of this work, is trying to communicate to you the superhuman levels of development and being that are possible for. But that's not why I do this work. I do this work so that 20 years from now, you can say to yourself, Leo, holy fuck. Wow. I could have never known it was so good. Why didn't you tell me it's so good? And then you realize, Leo, you couldn't have told me. I wouldn't have believed it.